trusted partner that's here to serve you. Your community, your bank. Midwest Bank. Learn more at midwestbank.com. Member FDIC.
The weather is hot, the kids are out of school, and you're on your way to the lake and summer road trips. Are you getting to your vacation spot comfortably, or is your car letting you down? Mullen Motors lot is full of great vehicles to take home, so you don't have to worry about your current car barely surviving another road trip. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Layton and find your next ride for summer road trips and beyond. Mullen Motors.
No tag-ons, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Summertime is in full swing, and it's time to get to work on outdoor projects. Deck City is a local source for everybody. Has everything you need to build the deck of your dreams, from tree, aluminum railings, and TimberTech composite decking. They offer advice from real deck professionals to give you proper guidance to make your project go smoothly. Call them today to schedule an appointment at 402-480-6671. Go online at deckcityne.com or visit their new location just north of 33rd and Cornhusker Highway. Deck City, your local deck experts.
Why are some people more successful? Is it talent and determination, or did they recognize an opportunity? Discover a career that lets you help families reach their financial goals as you build lasting professional relationships, one with unlimited income potential. From Modern Woodman, a leading fraternal financial services provider.
I'm Modern Woodman Regional Director Sean Erickson. Call me at 402-483-6515 to learn about career opportunities.
Modern Woodman of America. Touching lives, securing futures.
You've driven by GE Landscape Supply countless times, likely without even knowing, at 6701 Cornhusker Highway. Now it's time to stop in. GE Landscape Supply sells to homeowners and contractors with a vast selection of landscaping and construction materials. They sell in bulk to save you money, and you can buy anything from a 5-gallon bucket to a semi-load. And don't forget, they deliver anywhere. Stop by 6701 Cornhusker Highway from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday to Friday, and 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturday. Go to GELandscapeSupply.com for more info or call 402-467-1627.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves them, that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score!
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Old school, the Hall of Fame way, right? Got Strick up in here, Jay Foreman.
Yay, yay.
Brought to you by the Mercado, Certified Piedmontese. Special
Go get it.
And Butcher Shop located 84th and Havelock.
I might go out there and get me some summer sausage.
You need to get summer sausage. That's a great snack.
Especially right now with the weather as beautiful it is. Sit outside, boy.
Yeah, get just a couple little pieces of summer sausage. Some Ritz crackers and stuff like that. It's all good.
Love it.
Then they got that Friday lunch special that's off the chain too.
Oh, you can go over there and get some meat packages and take it to the house and
be
ready. Yes, sir.
And I'm a firm believer when you get the good cuts and the good meat, they grill a lot better than if it's coming from a processed plant. So anyways, obviously the big news, I'm sure you guys have covered it. We're going to cover a lot today. NBA Finals, a little NFL talk because it's mandatory mini camps for most teams or will be within the next week or two. It's Father's Day weekend, so it's U.S. Open and golf. We got a little look in upstate New York and Buffalo. There's not a lot to do, but boy, there's some news coming out of there like no other, and nobody's saying nothing.
Mandatory,
but nobody's saying nothing.
Nobody's really talking about it.
Josh Allen said that's my guy. The head coach said he's concerned, right?
Yeah.
When a head coach comes, and Sean McDermott, I mean, I know him just from being an alumni. He's very low key,
mild mannered guy,
right?
Yeah.
When he says he's concerned,
that means, that's different.
That means they are concerned upstairs, and it came down to him, and that's been
disseminated.
Well, it's an overabundance of discussions, and now it's in the locker room. I mean,
that's where you don't want it to get to, right?
You know it is, Strick. I mean, just imagine.
That's cancerous.
It
can be.
Roundabout way.
Okay.
Right now, if you're handling business in your contract situation, and I know one thing that you'd never do in the NFL is talk on somebody's money.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So if you holding out and look, you're a good player, get your money. I'm here to support you no matter what. That's nothing wrong with that. Nobody knows because he's not saying anything. Now, I'm sure they might have some ideas, but you on Instagram over there in a village somewhere kicking it. We over here working.
Mm-hmm.
Our window's closing, and we need you to help it keep it open.
Yeah,
straight up. And it's a little bit in transition. The defensive coordinator's gone. Everybody's got to get better. Everybody had him mic'd up, and he's questioning what's going on. And he's like, "It ain't me." It's look at some point in time. I always tell athletes this: the NFL will only take this as long as you're performing. And if you want to extend your career, you have to have a reality of who you are and where you are and what time it is, because he might be performing as a top 2 or 3 receiver, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the top 2 receivers that are thought of in perception and reality by stats is who? Chase and Jefferson.
Mm-hmm.
Jefferson and Chase.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't getting past it. That doesn't mean that you're not the number 1 guy in Buffalo's eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are, act accordingly, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't win, then everybody looks at, oh, well, we paying Strick this much. He ain't even around. Now they start making you the excuse.
So is he becoming more like Jay? Would you say like AB or no? I'm gonna throw 2. Hold on. I'm gonna say, is it more like AB or is it more like what Terrell Owens?
I think it's a little. I don't think anybody's like AB. I would never want to put AB's name in with anybody.
Okay.
I think AB had to be one of the worst teammates to have. Had to be.
Mm-hmm.
Because the things that he was doing, first of all, you are there's like 3 or 4 organizations that if you could get drafted to, you're blessed.
You're good to be at.
You're blessed to play there.
And Pittsburgh is one of them.
Pittsburgh,
New England,
even like Philly when Andy Reid was there.
Kansas City.
Yeah, Kansas City, the blue blood program. You can even say in reality, Dallas, right? I hate the Cowboys, but they take care of their players.
Mm-hmm.
So for you to get ran out of Pittsburgh, and the owner, Mr. Rooney, had to come and see you and was like, "Hey, you ain't coming back." I don't think Stefan's there. I think Stefan is somebody that needs a lot of attention.
So is that more like
a little bit like Terrell? But I
more
think it
Terrell.
comes from a good place. I think he just hasn't expressed it the right way.
Okay.
But ultimately, he's a grown man now. He's on a second team, 2 or 3 contracts. You got that dog in you. You know, if you need to get your stuff reworked, then come and talk like a grown man and figure out a way to work it out. Ain't nothing going to help you. You're not helping yourself.
You can't Ben Simmons this. This ain't no Ben Simmons.
Yeah, by not communicating.
Yeah.
So, that's something you got to dig into.
Wait,
plus some NFL news as well. Go ahead.
Is it different in the NBA as far as the way that you try to deal with these types of situations as opposed to the NFL? What is that unique difference?
See, it used to be drastic.
Okay.
See, I always feel like the NBA players, even with all the way back with Jordan and probably like maybe at the
Bird
end of
Magic,
right?
Mm-hmm.
You guys have had way more power because the connection between players and ownership is closer. You guys are on the same planes together. You see the faces.
Mm-hmm.
You get more games. You're appreciated more. Your union, I think, is stronger. Benefits, I think, is way stronger. So you're able to kind of communicate and negotiate in better and good faith, right?
Mm-hmm.
And generally, if you're holding out, it's very rare, and usually the player's in the right? Whereas the NFL, for the longest, never had any bargaining power. But I think after COVID and guys started to kind of make more money with social media, they're able to kind of dictate their future a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where you see it. You see guys that can force trades now. I mean, look back when Pocket Hercules, Kyler Murray got his contract. One of the biggest things I saw on one of the networks was, Kyler Murray's mad. He scrubbed his Instagram of Arizona
Mm-hmm.
Cardinals or whatever. And next thing you know, 2 weeks later, he got a huge contract.
Mm-hmm.
So
and got pushback on the clause that they had in it about him having
and then got it taken out.
Got it taken out.
Knowing dang well he ain't studying. So
right.
So I think it used to be drastically different. I think it's getting closer, and I think now you just never know what's going to happen, and guys can dictate where they're going. I mean, you know, you got to think.
Aaron Rodgers. There you go.
To say, hey, these are the only 2 spots I'll go. Or, you know, there's a story about Gronkowski where New England already had a trade set out to send him to Detroit, right? I think Matt Patricia was still there. He told him, if you trade me to Detroit, I'm retiring. So forget it. So then he got another year in New England. I think they might have won a Super Bowl, made a playoff run. Then he retired. That year of the contract finished. And then he went down to Tampa, and Tampa gave him pretty much pennies on the dollar, and he won another Super Bowl in another year. So I think that's when I played, that ain't happening.
That didn't start. Who started that? Barry Sanders?
No,
Megatron?
No.
Like where did that kind of start?
I think
where they were like, if you do this, I'm out.
Barry.
Barry did it. Barry's the one that kind of set the tone for that.
Yeah, because he's like, hey, you ain't putting. I'm tired of being the one man show, and they had nobody around him, and it just became uninteresting to him. And so it's a little bit different dynamics of professional, you know, obviously football and basketball, but you know, obviously with what happened last night and the draft being in the week, right?
Yeah.
NBA draft.
Yeah, 22nd.
And you're thinking about, I know we were talking about the Miami Heat. You know, Miami Heat has to, I always say they have to tread water softly now. Don't hang your hat on we made the NBA finals. You got blown out. You got destroyed in the NBA finals.
Gentlemen's
sweep. That was just like, all right, we'll just let you win a hand of poker because we done beat you all the time.
Just to let you think so you can put more money in the pot.
Right. Let's we're greasing the pot, you know, hitting up the percentage. Everybody just tipping their hat. We got it. So, because you can't thinking like, oh, we could do the same things. Now they got a hit on the draft. They can't keep going back to the undrafted guy. They got a hit on the draft. They really got some decisions to make. With
Talk to me.
Tyler Hero and Caleb Martin.
Right. No, wait. Well, Caleb Martin's already he's good for about another couple years. They got him on a steal. The one that they got to make a decision, I think, on
Kyle Lowry.
Is Lowry, or what is they going to do with Duncan Robinson?
Duncan Robinson.
He's either stuck or you can move him based on.
You're going to have to move somebody.
Somebody got
to get some cap relief and to get some back. And my man number 24,
Gabe Vincent,
and the Energizer Bunny that came off and pretty much won the game against Boston.
Highsmith.
Yeah, you got to do something with him.
Yeah,
because as much as they've played small parts in the getting over the Boston hump, they've shown you the potential to be effective NBA players. And so once they've gotten to this point, and you know this, once you've played some, not that you're going to go from Highsmith to being the starting point guard or guard, but you're not going to be playing 2 or 3 minutes or 4 minutes a game and then be, you know, a DNP. Right?
Right.
Because you're too valuable. And then also from a business standpoint of Miami, you essentially your playoff run has essentially put all your assets on display. Now, whether you know them better than everybody else, you know, okay, Caleb Martin had that game where he got hot. He's not really a shooter. He's probably a 6th or 7th guy.
Great defender, though.
But somebody's going to say, you know what, that guy, they're going to go right back to that Boston game, essentially clinching. Seen it one time, overpay him. That's the time to move him because it is. And so
you've got move capital for him, definitely.
You got to,
because I think he's only making $8 million the next one. I think he's got 2 more years. I think it's like 8, and then it's like $9 million.
But you got to move him number one because that's where right now he's
hot.
He's right. And for him, if I'm him and I'm talking, you're my agent, I got to get moved.
So then who? Like, do you go big, Jay, or do you kind of just add pieces because you've got capital to move? Like you've got Vincent, you've got him. You've got Hero, but people are going to question whether or not Hero's injury. They may want to see him a little bit. But Duncan Robinson kind of put himself in a better position.
Yeah, he puts him like Andy.
So you've got those
both
pieces.
of those guys. You can move them. Kyle Lowry, you probably want to trade on an expiring contract and do that kind of
exactly.
To get just the cap relief. Somebody else kind of pays a little half payoff, and then heck, you might even sign him back. You know what I mean? So
do you go big? Who do you think?
It's hard to
Dame?
go big. It's hard to
go for Dame.
It's hard to go big with Jimmy Butler though. It's hard.
He's
a great teammate, but he's hard to be with. I mean, look everywhere he's been at. If you go big, you got to bring a veteran in.
It's got to be somebody that's equal or if not
above,
better.
Right. And I don't know.
That's why I thought Dame would be.
And
a
there's
good
not a lot of guys that are older that want to come in and play like Miami plays hard.
Hey, listen. When
everything they do is hard.
I actually went down there for a workout and I was injured, but my gosh, like I thought I was needed to be in shape and I thought I was in good. boy,
Yeah.
they do not play. They
Right.
make sure you are in
tip top shape. So
for real.
And Dame Lillard does it. I think they try to be strategic. I think they try to get a draft, and I think they try to make a mid-level trade. So they have Bam.
Van Vliet.
See, he would be perfect.
Mm.
See, he's a younger version of Lowry,
That's-
in my opinion.
Boy, I tell you.
And here's why. Lowry and him played together. So who do you
Mhm.
think this is when Lowry was the real deal.
Mhm.
So Lowry learned underneath him. I think he gives you a little bit more big game power punch on a consistent basis. A
younger version of
a
Lowry.
true number 3
Yeah.
with Bam, right? And then maybe get somebody that can give Bam some relief, right? Because I
Mhm.
think Bam has showed that he can be effective as, a small 5, but then a really, really dangerous drive and kick. 4.
Absolutely. You need another 5. They need
Right.
another big man.
Right, need a big man. And even if you got somebody
Just a banger.
Right, like a Brooke Lopez type.
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah. I can see that.
You know who messed Miami up, man?
Who?
Whiteside.
Hassan Whiteside.
He messed Miami up
Oh,
because he was
right. They
a
signed him.
draft pick.
Yeah.
He worked his tail off until he to get the contract, and then once he got the contract, he
Disappeared.
just stopped working.
Yep.
And I think the last time I saw him, he was up in Portland or somewhere. You have to look him up, Austin, and he's hardly even playing, but he's got a fat contract. You got to think with him, Bam, because he has skills. Him, Bam, Jimmy Butler, and even Van Fleet.
Yeah, that could be
That's
something.
it. But he tricked it off.
So Hassan Whiteside was in Portland in the 1920 season, Sacramento the next year, Utah for a year, and now he is playing for the Piratas
Dragons.
Cape Diaz.
See, there
in
you go.
Puerto Rico.
There you go.
Oh, God.
Puerto Rico.
He's not even in a major European
Right,
league.
and the reason why I knew he was in Portland because I was in Charlotte seeing my kids, and we got some tickets, and they were playing the Hornets. I'm like, man, what you doing up in here? Because they had him, Zach Collins. I was like, they got every dude that came in and played good their first 3 years,
Yeah.
got a new contract, and decided to trick it off. Now Collins got hurt, so if they could get somebody like him, Collins, who's on a year and a half after his ACL, him or somebody like that. I know they tried to kind of kick the tires on Miles Leonard.
What about your boy is that the one you talking about in Atlanta? That Collins?
No,
I
John
like
Collins.
him. Yeah. I actually like John Collins.
I like John Collins.
That type of player.
Now I'm gonna tell you who, if they could get him, is the center for Atlanta that came from Houston.
Oh, you talking about Capella?
If they could
Clint
get-
Capella, I like where you're going.
Now, him and Bam are the same, but I think
I think Capella's more of a banger.
I know that's what I was about to say, but Capella it would relieve Bam, and it would
Yeah.
take Bam to that true number 2
For
all-star.
Yeah.
And those two with
I
that
can see
athletic
that.
ability, that actually gives Miami the ability to be more versatile. Push it
Capella
up the
can be
court.
DeAndre Jordan.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
Yes,
push it up
without
to-
the hops.
But can push it up the court though now.
Yeah.
The ability to run out.
He
in the
can run
lane.
out and get in.
So now you're not just stuck in this 89-94 game. You got to play a certain way, and he plays D. You know what I'm
Mhm,
saying? So
mhm.
if they make a move like that, Miami, I think it leapfrog Philly. I think Philly is done.
Yeah.
I think Boston, if Brad Stevens doesn't have an excellent offseason, they need to blow that up, and it might be All-Star break. I think Milwaukee will come back, but how they teeter-totter between having a little bit older roster in youth, along with the most, besides Joker, the most unstoppable force in the league, you can't go too young, and you can't run it back old.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be different, man. So we'll see. It's the NFL, NBA. It's a lot of
moves that
parallels
need to
on
be
that.
made.
So
Yeah.
we want to thank Strick for sticking in that first segment. We're going to get to your text on the text line, right? The Allo VIP line. We'll be right back after a short break. This is Old School, brought to you the Hall of Fame way. Jay Foreman, E. Strick. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What's the most important thing about Warhorse Casino Lincoln? The people. The people who come to play and the people who make it all possible. Our team of trailblazers are the spirit behind everything we do. Join the Warhorse Casino family for a one-of-a-kind career. We're looking for driven individuals for our team in areas such as accounting, cashiering, currency drop and count, food and beverage, housekeeping, and more. Our team members are eligible for insurance and earn paid time off from day one. Not to mention paid holidays, 401k matching, discounts on meals, and the opportunity to advance at a growing company. If you're ready to blaze the trail, come to our next career fair on June 15th. We'll be interviewing on the spot from 4 to 7 p.m. at the Warhorse Gaming Office, located at 3730 South 14th Street in Lincoln. Fill out your application ahead of time to expedite the process and view all open positions at warhorsecasino.com. Get in the game today.
Hi, it's Charlie Stone again, and with me on the line, Andy Goodyear, General Manager of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, I know how proud you and everyone at the dealership are to earn the prestigious Honda President's Award year after year, 17 times. Tell our listeners what it means to you and your customers.
Thanks, Charlie. Yeah, all of us are extremely proud to have earned this award, and I want all of our customers to know it's not just earned by one person's effort. It's the entire dealership. Sales, parts, and our amazing service department.
17 times. Wow. How does that compare to other Honda dealers?
This award is only given to the most elite dealerships that demonstrate excellence. We really do strive to go above and beyond for the ultimate customer experience before and after the sale, Charlie.
That's why for 2022, Honda of Lincoln is once again Nebraska's #1 volume Honda dealer. Come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business, 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
The days of internet contracts and heavy fine print are over. It's time to experience hassle-free service with no contracts or hidden fees. That's the Allo promise. Allo Communications provides fiber internet, TV, and phone services with fair and no-nonsense pricing. All backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, 24/7 local support 365 days a year, and a monthly bill you can count on. Don't settle for gimmicks. Settle for hassle-free with Allo. Visit us at allofiber.com/hassle-free.
Herrick Services takes this time to wish all the dads out there a happy Father's Day. We hope that everyone is able to show how much they care for and respect the dads in their life for this weekend especially, but in everyday life too. This important message comes to you from Bart, Mike, and the folks at Herrick Services, your vending specialists here in Lincoln. Their quality service and expertise has earned them a fine reputation. That's Herrick Services, on the air because they care.
Summertime is in full swing, and it's time to get to work on outdoor projects. Deck City is a great place to start as Lincoln's local source for everything decks. Deck City has everything you need to build the deck of your dreams, from treated lumber to Westbury aluminum railings and TimberTech composite decking. They offer advice from real deck professionals to give you proper guidance to make your project go smoothly. Call them today to schedule an appointment at 402-480-6671. Go online at deckcityne.com or visit their new location just north of 33rd and Cornhusker Highway. Deck City, your local deck experts.
How many times has the dad in your life complained about being tired and sore and done nothing about it? Why not change things up this year for Father's Day with a gift certificate for a massage from the Body Shop? It's not a day at the golf course or a new tool for the shop, but it is something that can make activities less painful going forward. Get Dad a gift certificate today for Father's Day at thebodyshoplincoln.com. The Body Shop at 48th and A.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices. The weather is hot, the kids are out of school, and you're on your way to the lake and summer road trips. Are you getting to your vacation spot comfortably, or is your car letting you down? Mullen Motors Lot is full of great vehicles to take home so you don't have to worry about your current car barely surviving another road trip. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Layton and find your next ride for summer road trips and beyond. Mullen Motors.
No tag-ons, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
John Henry's Plumbing, heating and air.
When it comes to your home or business, we know you have options, and that's why John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning gives you just that. Options. We have plumbing, heating, and cooling memberships to serve all of your residential and commercial needs. We want to ensure you, your family, and your business are safe. Visit our website, jhlincoln.com, to find out more or call us at
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, heating and air.
There's a lot of realtors in Lincoln, but don't get overwhelmed by all the names. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realtor Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate is your go-to option when buying or selling residential and commercial property. Ben's team offers unbeatable customer service and promises to make the buying and selling process as stress-free as possible. Call Ben today at 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate. No pressure, just professionalism.
Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are back. Strick, we want to thank Strick for stepping in there for that first segment. DP's out on business. Jay Foreman is here with Austin, old school. Again, brought to you by the Mercado, certified Piedmontese, special ingredients and butcher shop. We had a little NBA talk, but we got some questions here from the text line, and one here, Longsker. So I don't know if he's from Texas or what, but he's from Texas. He says, "What up, Jay and Strick? Thoughts on Matt Rule possibly not getting a in-state kid if they offer, and the kid choosing a school and not letting them come back?" I don't know. I don't think that I can't speak for Matt Rule. I don't think he would say, "Hey, if you go to said school and don't take our offer, that you can't come back." I think I think if it's just that's the kind of, I wouldn't say risk, but those are the options you got to really look at. When you are, say, from Nebraska, it's not just a 4-year or 5-year deal. This is something that if you come here and play well, that this is that's why you pick the school where you can see yourself with the family, but then also operating in a business sense and doing all that type of stuff and setting yourself up for after football. So I don't think they would turn their listen. Matt Rule ain't turning. Nobody should turn their back on a good player. If you leave and say they recruit other guys and you said no and they offered you, okay, that's, hey, they recruited you, you chose different, and then you want to come back, but we're already set at that position. It can't be like, okay, well, this is an all-time offer. That's not how it works, and so I don't think that, I'm not privy to any of those conversations. I'd be highly surprised if they, went that route, but, I don't think it, the not letting them back, I don't think that happened. I think it, everything changes, and, in the day of the transfer portal, your first decision, most likely in this day and time, isn't your last decision. You know what I'm saying? It's an option. And if I had the transfer portal after winning 2 national championships and splitting time with some, guys I didn't really think I should, I'd probably have been in the portal, and I probably would have went somewhere.
Where would you have gone?
I don't know. I was on my way to Michigan, but now the fact that we split with Michigan in '97, I probably would have hated myself. But I didn't know that they were going to win, but I had some friends that went there and stuff like that. But
so what you're saying is you would have been Ernest Hausman before Ernest Hausman.
Yep, that's why I said he shouldn't have went. I know too much about Michigan, what to do up there. So, and then he sent me, he said he's from Nebraska, but he's a Texas fan at heart, number 1, and number 2 would be Nebraska. That's respectable, Don't tell anybody that. Don't tell too many people that, Long Husker, because, you might get wrong directions. We got another unknown texter. He says, I feel like everybody's sleeping on Pittsburgh this year, top 3. The season, top 3 season in the NFL. Tough division, yes, but Steelers have so many weapons. I think Pittsburgh is on the mend, right? I think Cincinnati is Cincinnati's division. Then I think the next possible playoff position is between Pittsburgh and Baltimore. Now, what's Lamar Jackson like after finally getting paid and more legitimate weapons? But the defense is a little bit weaker. And then where does Pickett take this team? Because I think Pittsburgh has done a good job of drafting well. I think the offensive lineman they got from Georgia brings that physical mentality back, kind of like when they had the Pouncey and those guys. And I think they got some weapons around them. And I think they have Najee Harris, who's one of the best backs. I think he's probably, between him and Saquon Barkley, probably the best out of the backfield, multi-dimensional back. And then the defense is still, top notch, and they have playmakers over there. So I'm not sleeping on Pittsburgh, but I'm sleeping on Pickett until I see 4 to 6 games, especially at the beginning of the season, that I see, okay, well, he took a huge step. And not only has he gotten better, but the talent's gotten better.
I need to see more from Najee Harris. I think he's a good back, but I wonder how much of his stat line is inflated by there not being a whole lot around Kenny Pickett the first couple years.
Yeah.
So I think he has the talent, he has the tools.
Volume.
Yes,
Right,
volume.
yeah.
But Pittsburgh's offense hasn't been great.
Right.
And of course that starts with the quarterback and flows
And
out from there.
Yeah.
I trust Pittsburgh more than I trust Baltimore and more than I trust Cleveland.
Oh.
I think Baltimore is more talented. Cleveland has to figure out what the heck it is, what its plan is. I still think they don't know. Mike Tomlin is still the best coach in that division.
Right.
Top 3 coach in football.
Yep.
So that gets Pittsburgh another win or two every year just because of Mike Tomlin being who he is. So if you ask me right now, I would say Cincy, Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Cleveland in the division, but you can talk me into Pittsburgh.
Let me ask you about Cleveland, right? When Deshaun Watson, before he got suspended and did his whole, let's call it massage gate or whatever, was right there with Patrick Mahomes. I mean, there wasn't any difference. And to be honest with you, I could make a legitimate argument that Deshaun Watson was doing more with less than what Patrick Mahomes had in Kansas City offensive weapons.
And he was more polished.
And he was more polished and, it was questioning. So I want to ask you this. Do you think that finally getting back to play, that stuff seems to put to bed, can actually get back to play? I mean, look, he was off for almost 2 years. And it's hard. Look, Tom Brady could take 2 years off and come out and play, but Deshaun Watson in Cleveland, with the amount of scrutiny every time that he even put on a practice helmet and dealing with the internal issues that he had to face and all that other stuff, last year was hard. I'm not making excuses for him. I'm just being realistic. Do you think, and I have my feelings, I want to ask you first, do you think you get a better version of Deshaun Watson, kind of like the last 2 or 3 games? Now you got to think, you got Bradley Chubb.
Nick Chubb,
my bad. Bradley Chubb's brother.
Yeah.
You got Nick Chubb. You got a really good tight end, probably one of the top 5 offensive lines in the NFL. Underrated defense and young. Do you see Cleveland possibly being that dark horse because they have a good coach that's taking them to the playoffs? Now, I mean, look, he's an underrated coach. That's kind of, if you're Cleveland, that's where you want to be.
Right.
Let everybody else beat each other up. We'll just kind of just slide right up into the playoffs. Do you see that this year with them?
There's talent up and down that roster. I like a lot of what they have. Amari Cooper, I don't know if he's a true number 1. He's a really good wide receiver, especially when you pair him with that running game.
I don't mean to cut you. Let me ask you this, man. Everybody says my man Amari Cooper ain't a number 1, but he just put up number 1 numbers every single year. What is it about it? Is it because he's not like flashy? He doesn't have a big personality. He very rarely does interviews. He just goes about his business in unique situations. His last year in Dallas, you think Dallas ain't miss him?
Oh, they definitely missed him.
And then he just goes to Cleveland and does this stuff. And he's up in a situation in Cleveland that most number 1 guys or high profile receivers or highly productive receivers wouldn't want to go. What is it about him that people say, well, he's not a true number 1?
It's funny because you're right. He has that talent. I think part of it was he only had like 865 yards in 2021, which is fine in Dallas. Big step up then year 1 with Cleveland last year, but he never comes up in that conversation for top receivers. So I think maybe 10 years ago, Amari Cooper puts up these numbers the way he does. He's being talked about as a number 1, but think about who your absolute true, no doubt number 1s are. Justin Jefferson, Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill are guys you take before Amari Cooper.
But if there's 32 teams, they should be 32 number
1s.
But it seems like everybody will talk about possibly Elijah Moore or what's the guy that went to Chicago? That's never really done what he's done. Because I'm looking.
I wonder if part of it too is the fact that Amari played with CeeDee Lamb a little bit.
Yeah, and
Lamb had a really good year, so I think he took a backseat there, even if he shouldn't have. Because you're talking me into Amari Cooper as a number 1. The longer we do.
Well, I'm looking at this. I think what really possibly could have hurt him too is the first 4 years were in Oakland.
Right.
Whereas you're putting up good numbers, but you're in a bad organization, a team that's hardly ever on TV, and you're not winning. So that's your first impression. But he put up stats: 1,000, 700, and then he got traded, and then he still put up he put up 1,000, and so he had 7 touchdowns, 7, 5, and 6. Now, granted, with not the best quarterback play, and then his first year in Dallas, he has an excellent year. Pretty much 1,200 yards, 8 TDs, backs it up with 1,100 yards, 5 TDs. His down year at Dallas was essentially 900 yards, 8 TDs, and that's the emergence of CeeDee Lamb and him taking a second kind of tier position. Then he goes to Cleveland, and when he went to Cleveland, it was like it wasn't even on like the ticker. It was. I remember we were having a show. You weren't here yet. We were talking to Nate Brennan, and we had where is Amari Cooper? Well, he goes to Cleveland. Now, mind you, you had quarterback carousel there. Deshaun Watson isn't the one that we talked about 2 years ago. He has 78 catches, pretty much 1,200 yards, 9 TDs. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's a personality, and plus where he started his career. And he's not the flashy guy because, first of all, when you're in Cleveland, you're not getting a ton of highlights. You're not getting primetime games because that consistency that he's having here, he puts up 3 or 4 more, years like that. You're starting to kind of creep into, especially if you can get a deep playoff run or possibly get traded to a, Super Bowl team. You're talking about a Hall of Fame career right there because of the consistent production. And you got to look at it like this: 16 games played, 14, 15, 16, 16, 15, 17. He's durable. And, if I'm a team, he might be a guy that I'm trying to call and get a flyer on.
It's funny too, because if you look at the guys Amari Cooper played with or alongside at Alabama,
right?
Amari Cooper was one of the first. Like, you have Julio
He's the OG.
Jones. Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
But outside of Julio, it's Amari, followed up by Jerry Jeudy, followed up by Jameson Williams, followed up by Devontae Smith.
Right.
But I think since Alabama has had a line of them now, we forget that Amari Cooper was part of that first group to help take that Alabama offense to the next level.
Right. He was pretty much unstoppable. And I remember them talking about him. We talked about Brent Musburger talking about him, how Nick Saban got him, and he's like, he came in and he was the best route runner that Nick Saban's ever had. And you're talking about Moose Muhammad and all those guys, so polished, so excellent. So, I think it's just one of those things that, that goes on that, when you're kind of quiet and under the radar, you kind of don't get the respect. But I think everybody I think the defensive coordinators know when he steps out there, you will get done up. And so, back to Cleveland and Deshaun Watson, if they could get something out of him close to what they have, I think Cleveland is going to be that second playoff team. I really do. And Cincinnati, the offense is going to be there. I think the defense, the continuity with the coordinator is going to be there. What do you think, real quick before we go to break, what do you think Cincinnati is missing? Or is it just home field? Or you know what? They didn't make 2 plays. They need to make 2 plays to beat Kansas City. And do you think they just keep doing it and just get better at what they've been doing?
I think that's a big part of it for them is don't panic.
Right.
Always look for ways to improve the roster. I mean, they had a lot of free agents, a lot of turnover. They could, because you got to decide who's worth the extensions and where do you have to get younger. That's what Kansas City's done really well, is made a lot of right decisions on that front. It's Cincinnati's turn. A lot of those bills are coming due, but I think you have a great offensive foundation with Burrow, Higgins, Chase, obviously. Boyd, like you mentioned, is the third kind of number one. We'll see what happens with Joe Mixon.
Right.
I think the defense is opportunistic enough.
Yeah.
But really, what matters most is the defense still confuses Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid to some degree. So I don't think there's a need to panic for Cincinnati. I think they're even a little bit ahead of where, like Denver is in the NBA, where they have a good team. They always fall short for whatever reason, but they think they have most of, if not all the pieces there. So then it comes down to really whose turn is. I mean, they beat Kansas City a couple times. Kansas City was going to play some of its best football, and you're still 2 plays away from beating them.
Right.
So, no, I don't think there's any reason to worry in Cincinnati right now. But
don't be complacent.
No.
Yeah.
You can improve, and you can look to, make better choices up and down the roster. But the core of what you have has proven that it can get you where you want to go.
Right. Yeah. That's a good segment. We're going to come back in short. Unknown texter, we're going to ask Austin about what you said about DJ Moore, because there is some correlation between him and Amari Cooper. So this is Old School, Austin J. Foreman today. We'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese Beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive Certified Piedmontese Beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock, or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
The Southern Pecan Cake from Beatrice Bakery. They don't just let you call anything Southern, especially when it's baked right here in Nebraska. But there are standards you have to meet, like a rich, decadent, moist caramel cake? Check. Bursting with too many large pecans to count? Check. Big enough to share with the whole group? Check. But delicious enough that you won't want to share? A big check on that one. The Southern Pecan Cake, the newest cake to the Beatrice Bakery lineup. Try it for yourself at Beatrice Bakery, online at beatricebakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
Generation V.
Opening a new location at 27th and Superior.
Generation V.
Join us this Saturday during our grand opening sale. Everything is buy one, get one free. Mix and match between Vape, Delta 8, and Kratom, or buy two of your favorites for the price of one. Buy one Elf Bar disposable, get one free. Buy premium THCA flower, get a free glass pipe. You decide what to BOGO this Saturday.
Generation V.
Don't miss the grand opening sale this Saturday at 27th and Superior in Lincoln. GenerationV.com. E-cigs contain nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
John Henry's Plumbing, heating and air.
When it comes to your home or business, we know you have options, and that's why John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning gives you just that. Options. We have plumbing, heating, and cooling memberships to serve all of your residential and commercial needs. We want to ensure you, your family, and your business are safe. Visit our website, jhlincoln.com, to find out more, or call us at
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, heating and air.
Herrick Services takes this time to wish all the dads out there a happy Father's Day. We hope that everyone is able to show how much they care for and respect the dads in their life for this weekend especially, but in everyday life too. This important message comes to you from Bart, Mike, and the folks at Herrick Services, your vending specialists here in Lincoln. Their quality service and expertise has earned them a fine reputation. That's Herrick Services, on the air because they care.
Whether you're looking for a new place to call home or trying to sell your current home, you want to make it as easy as possible. So why not use a realtor that works harder so you don't have to? The Carpe Diem team at Nebraska Realty is your go-to realty team for all your residential and commercial needs. They pride themselves on working hard and making your life as easy as possible while educating you every step of the way. Contact the Carpe Diem team to seize your moment, whether it be buying, selling, building, investing, or even commercial real estate. Give them a call today at 402-429-8121. Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now they've raised wages again and they're hiring for production operators at $24.11 per hour, which grows to $28.27 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $32.76 per hour with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or to apply, go to continental-jobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
Motor Food is Lincoln's hardest rocking food truck and cafe. Motor Food creates old school comfort food with a 21st century twist and lots of rock and roll attitude. Try the barbecue pulled pork mac and cheese, the grilled chicken Firebird sandwich, a 100% all beef split grilled hot dog, and any version of their funky fries. Stop by the cafe just behind Outback Steakhouse on 48th Street, or catch the food truck out and about all spring and summer. Check out their menu, order carryout, or schedule catering at motorfoodtruck.com.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I
love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Sartor Hamann.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Sartor Hamann.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back in the future.
Sauter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SauterHeyman.com.
Old School with DP and J.
How many do you think Bud has left in it?
Bud's the only one that knows, but I would imagine that Bud is at the one. He's trying to be the best fighter in the world. Period. Like until somebody's going to take that from him, and I'm not sure that anybody can. I don't know if Spence can. Spence would love to be that person, but Bud Crawford has denied people forever.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Guys, it's that time again. Another 10-week challenge at Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping is starting on July 8th. I joined Farrell's a little over a year ago, and with their help, I've lost over 125 pounds and can confidently say I'm in the best shape of my life. The 10-week challenge combines kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching in a way that is approachable and achievable for any skill level. And ticket listeners, you can get $150 off the cost of enrollment. Head to theticketfm.com and click on the banner on the homepage to learn more. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 70th and Vine or 40th and Yankee Hill.
Back to Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are back, Old School. Jay Foreman, Austin on the ones and twos. Pulling a little double duty today. DP is out, but we are moving right along. Austin, in the short segment, I wanted to ask you. We had an unknown texter, or two of them, or we had Long Skirt and unknown texter that talked about DJ Moore putting up good numbers and kind of underutilized in Carolina, and probably in reference to Amari Cooper. What's your thoughts on him going to Chicago? Is he a true number one, or is he kind of the only person down in Carolina that had a heartbeat and pulse, and so he's kind of a numbers number one?
I think that's part of it. I mean, I pulled up his numbers for reference. 87 for 1,200, only 4 touchdowns in 2019. 66 for 1,200, again, only 4 touchdowns in 2020. And 93 for 1,200, 4 touchdowns in 2021. Did get up to 7 touchdowns, but on only 63 catches and 888 yards last year. I think DJ Moore is good. I don't know if I'm sold on him as a true number one. I think if he was a little bigger, maybe, but at only 6 foot, I think that limits him a little bit. I think Justin Fields needs a bigger bodied type of guy to throw to. And on a personal level, I'm mad at DJ Moore for not helping me out in fantasy. So I know that doesn't play into it. I know it doesn't.
Fantasy does change how you view players.
It does.
It changes how you watch his game, so it views the players. I think DJ Moore is a number one in the right scheme. So I think if they try to use him like the Dolphins use Tyreek Hill, I think definitely he's a number one. I think with Justin Fields and his ability to throw deep, and DJ Moore can get deep, his touchdowns will go up, and I'd be very surprised if he doesn't double it up to 8, because he had 4 and a 7. I think he'd be up towards 8. He had a huge year, and obviously, got rewarded and getting into a little bit better situation. I want to ask you this before we go to break. The Buffalo Bills says Stephon Diggs is not at camp. His agent says he is. I want to ask you this. Have you ever been thought of or said, hey, Austin was here and you said you weren't, but you actually were? Or has anybody ever lied about your presence somewhere?
Not to my knowledge.
Right. The funny thing, it's a big contrast between the team that pays your client, Mr. Agent. They're saying he is not in the building. Okay. And then you being the agent / lawyer, yes, he is. So there is no in between. It's either you're there or you're not. Because
we're not that advanced as a species.
Because if I turn on the security tape and I don't see you walk into the building, or you're in the building at any point in time, and if I turn on the practice tape and you're not in the building, you might be in Buffalo, but you ain't in camp. So that is just the funniest thing right there.
Maybe his agent's saying he's in the woods. He's in a tent. He's in camp.
Well, maybe he's just mentally he's there. Physically, he's not.
He's watching his film. He's still working out. He's in shape. But
maybe he thought he thought it was still COVID and we just working out at home or something like that. But I just thought that was funny. I'm going to ask you at the top of the hour about Matt Patricia and reunion with Darius Slay, because he pretty much traded Darius Slay because he went and worked out with his personal trainer. He's an all-pro corner, and he was working on with a former all-pro, and Al Harris, who's now the defensive back coach for the Dallas Cowboys. We'll ask you a little bit more about NFL news, and then we're going to dive into this PGA Tour stuff because Jay Monahan.
Oh, boy.
Hey, I'm going to tell you about Jay Monahan. Jay Monahan went from a meeting to where everybody says you need to be fired, and he said, you know what? Blame Congress. Congress is like 45 people that nobody really knows, and you can't get in contact with anybody to blame. So we're going to talk about that in the second hour. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Tailored Life is now open in Bennett. Make the short drive down Highway 2 for tons of items for your home, for both indoors and outdoors. Check out their variety of potted trees, shrubs, vines, perennials, and colorful annuals. Plus, porch pots and landscape lighting to enhance the outside of your home. Don't forget their home goods for indoors, plus convenient drinks and snacks, most which are produced locally. Visit Tailored Life today in Bennett and stay tuned to their Facebook page at Tailored Life 360 for food truck events coming up.
From Beatrice Bakery. They don't just let you call anything Southern, especially when it's baked right here in Nebraska. There are standards you have to meet, like a rich, decadent, moist caramel cake? Check. Bursting with too many large pecans to count? Check. Big enough to share with the whole group? Check. But delicious enough that you won't want to share? A big check on that one. The Southern Pecan Cake, the newest cake to the Beatrice Bakery lineup. Try it for yourself at Beatrice Bakery. Online at BeatriceBakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
How many times has the dad in your life complained about being tired and sore and done nothing about it? Why not change things up this year for Father's Day with a gift certificate for a massage from the Body Shop? It's not a day at the golf course or a new tool for the shop, but it is something that can make activities less painful going forward. Get Dad a gift certificate today for Father's Day at thebodyshoplincoln.com. The Body Shop at 48th and A.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. The home of Kansas City Royals baseball. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
When it comes to your home or business, we know you have options, and that's why John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning gives you just that. Options. We have plumbing, heating, and cooling memberships to serve all of your residential and commercial needs. We want to ensure you, your family, and your business are safe. Visit our website, jhlincoln.com, to find out more or call us at
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
The weather is hot, the kids are out of school, and you're on your way to the lake and summer road trips. Are you getting to your vacation spot comfortably, or is your car letting you down? Mullen Motors Lot is full of great vehicles to take home, so you don't have to worry about your current car barely surviving another road trip. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Layton and find your next ride for summer road trips and beyond. Mullen Motors.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and our big summer sales event is underway this month. Right now, get 0.9% interest rates. Yes, you heard right. 0.9% APR on select new Chevrolet and GMC vehicles, plus a $1,500 trade-in bonus on select Silverados and Sierras. You put all that together with some big Koppel discounts, and you have a tremendous buying experience. So stop on into the dealership or check us out online at KoppelCars.com. You'll be glad you did. All deals with approved credit.
Guys, it's that time again. Another 10-week challenge at Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping is starting on July 8th. I joined Farrell's a little over a year ago, and with their help, I've lost over 125 pounds and can confidently say I'm in the best shape of my life. The 10-week challenge combines kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching in a way that is approachable and achievable for any skill level. And ticket listeners, you can get $150 off the cost of enrollment. Head to theticketfm.com and click on the banner on the homepage to learn more. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 70th and Vine or 40th and Yankee Hill.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Junior Achievement of Lincoln inspires and prepares young people for success. Learn more about the people involved in the organization and the success stories over the years each Thursday from 7 to 8 p.m. for the Junior Achievement Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Mostly sunny skies and slightly warmer here for our Tuesday. We'll see a high of 84, light west-southwest winds at around 10. Mainly clear tonight, a low dropping down to 57. The heat builds in a bit further as we head into our Wednesday. We'll be mainly sunny with an afternoon high approaching 91. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves them, that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score!
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Oh man, we gotta talk to DP and try to get a off-air type of. We'll have to use the dump button or whatever. But if some of those cars, it's more funny because of we're talking sports and then we're talking people in a totally different realm of. Hey, I'm here when I'm actually somewhere else. It actually is funny that two things can kind of collide and we're just having an off-brand conversation. Mm-hmm. So anyways, this is Old School brought to you by the Mercado Certified Piedmontese, special ingredients and butcher shop, 84th and Havelock. Every type of meat, every type of cut. Text line, we appreciate the firing it up. Byron, the hog farmer. Thoughts on, hold on, let me get it here, Byron. See, look, we got the Aloe VIP line, right?
That's for our guests that we bring in. This is just the Starter Heyman text line. Still.
This is still Starter Heyman text. Excuse me, Starter Heyman text line. If you feel free, if you feel froggy and leap, you want to call in on the Aloe VIP line. The number is still the same, right, Austin?
Yep.
402-464-5685. We'll get you on air. We'll debate a little bit. We won't cut your mic a little bit. But Byron, the hog farmer, says this. He has a question. Thoughts on people complaining about all the in-camp offers? I trust this staff, and obviously they see something. I didn't know a lot of people were complaining. I wouldn't say I was out of the loop, but my oldest daughter graduated, so I was trying
Congrats.
to do that. Yeah, man.
How was Charlotte? How was all that?
It was good. I mean, you got to be down there with family, and they just, you don't get to pick your family. But it was, everybody kind of kept it together for a betterment of my oldest, and so then we flew back today, and then came right back in here. I saw there were some offers, and I think, hey. Complaining doesn't get you anywhere, right? I think I think this Nebraska staff is in a little bit of a tricky situation because they've done a really good job of just recruiting in general. So they have to make sure they recruit the right guys in in-state and get those. Now, along with the in-state guys, even all the way out there in 8-man football, where they're getting national offers, right? Mm-hmm. And Nebraska's not a national powerhouse right now. And then they're able to use their connections and what they know Texas football is about and recruit there as well for all the better purpose to get the program to be better. And then here you go, you have these camps, right? We're at Matt Rule football camp, and then people are mad you offer people in camp. Well, they get to see them actually in a I guess a better evaluation.
A more controlled environment.
Yeah, well, controlled environment, but not a controlled environment, because I know from my experience, I only went to one camp, and that you don't know who you're going against, so that's not controlled, and every rep counts, so the pressure is high, especially if you're coming here to get a good evaluation or possibly an offer from Nebraska, or Nebraska says, I need to see you in our camp. I don't have a problem with it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
They have their way of doing it. I'd rather do that because here's a really good example of going to camp is one of my favorite receivers, talking about number one, is Terry McLaurin from the Commanders. I'm trying to figure. I know they're not the Redskins football. I'm trying to figure out what name they are, right? He's one of my favorite receivers. He talks about Urban Meyer in Ohio State. He went to the Ohio State camp. The staff met. Urban Meyer was, I guess, pissed and said there was nobody there, blah, blah, blah. Brian Hartline said there's this kid, McLaurin. You can see him. Urban Meyer was like, oh, he was okay. Urban Meyer told him, you come back to the next, I guess, session. I want you to catch 200 balls a day. You probably had some drops or whatever. And I want you to be in better shape, this, and this. Right? He's inspired enough. He goes back, does the work, come back, does it, ends up being a second-round pick. Obviously one of the better NFL receivers right now. So it all came from camp. It really has. So, you know, I don't really think it's a problem. I think if they can get him there and they, you know, check all the boxes and they get to meet with them a lot more, right? Now I will tell you this: there's some young in-state receivers that they need to look at. You know, you got Jackson at Miller South, who's about a 6'2" kid that was a freshman last year, started on varsity, and did work against the Bellevue West and the West Sides and all those. So, you know, I think they got a good crop of young, players that they're going to have to evaluate, and got that, inner quality of dog in them. So I don't really think it's a bad deal. I just think that right now, Byron, is that the fan base is in a unique situation, a little bit unfair, because everybody's waiting and seeing, and you're seeing a staff that's recruiting and they're saying all the right things. Then it's like, okay, well, I'm seeing it and I see it in a different way, right? Because you got Tyson Terry that says that the last staff, no matter what, didn't have a chance. This staff actually recruits and feel like a family.
Do you like Terry?
I like him. I think he's I like his wrestling background. Obviously compare him to Harrison Phillips, but I think he's been a productive player. He's competitive. I think he's big and strong enough. I don't think you got to put a whole bunch of weight on him right now. I think he's a good athlete. He can play both sides of the ball, so it gives you flexibility. So I think he's a big get because he's a foundational piece, and he's a tough kid too. So I think he's good. But when you think about that, I don't know what the disconnect was with the last staff, but then, that was supposed to be part of it. But then now you see it come to fruition and you're starting to hear and see the same things, right? But the fan base is probably like a wait and see and like, I don't want to believe it. And that's fine. I think, and the staff, if I had to give any advice to the staff, just keep doing what you're doing. You got to keep doing what you're doing. Not every recruit is going to end up being good, but you got to keep recruiting. So we'll see what happens. I think, Byron, he texted back in. Thanks again on the Starter Heyman text line. He says, unfortunately, I think we will have to get some underrated kids. We're not getting top players until we win again. That is true. Rule proved that you can recruit athletes and put them in position to be successful or to succeed. That is true. But I would tell you like this, Byron, is that every kid that goes to a Power 5, I wouldn't say it's technically underrated. Now, you'll get some 3-star kids that'll end up being good players and end up going to the next level or just being really good players. A lot of that ranking is based on where you live, in my opinion. I think that's the dumbest thing. That just
where you live, who you know,
right?
Who saw you,
and you can. If I'm Jay Foreman and I live out in Ogallala, Nebraska, I can only play against who I shows up on Friday nights. But they'll hold again, and there is some truth to that. But I think being in a camp, meeting Jay Foreman, knowing I'm a football junkie, I got the heart, I got the potential, I got some, places to grow still, then that's how you can get an offer. So
watching good footwork,
everything you need, right? Willing to get better, willing to compete. So I think, we got to get some guys. And I think every program is a developmental program. Now, when you're in Alabama and you're getting 4 or 5-star guys coming through there, then it's a little different. But some of Alabama's best players have been the 3-star guys that have, outlasted some of the 4-star guys. So every program has to develop the guys, even Georgia. Now, granted, they're working with a different foundation base than some of the kids that are at Nebraska, but ultimately, the more kids that you can get in and really love football and know how to compete and then lead from within, well, then you'll have you won't even care about what star ranks he's at, where what they're at. And a lot of times, especially across the line, talking about Terry, is that they're ranked based on like their size. So you could have a kid that's, let's just say 6'6", 6'7", 310. He might have 40 pounds of bad weight on him, but he's 6'6", 6'7", 310. But then you got a kid that's 6'4", say 6'3 and a half, 275, that's 10 times better football player. Well, he's the 3-star versus 4-star moving to 5-star. Well, that dude that's 2 inches shorter is a dude that you're going to see playing faster on Saturdays. And so another unknown texter says, what is better, a good camp or good film? I don't think anything's better. I think you better have both.
Right.
I think if you have good film throughout the whole year, I'd probably go with that versus a camp is kind of just a snapshot. But I think if you can perform good at a camp, you should be able to perform good on film. And there's other things you can do on film besides, catch touchdowns or whatever. Do you block downfield if you're a receiver? Do you run routes? Are you able to be a good decoy? Are you a good teammate? Do you play defense? Can you be the guy that goes in on defense to, play a certain plays to make the play to win the game? Those are the things I want football players. Because a lot of times your best football players are guys that played one position in high school, play another when they get to college. You think about Prince that was here. He was a DB or he was a running back. You think about ends up going first round being defensive back. Fabian Washington played a little bit of running back. Ends up being a first round pick.
Amir started as a DB.
Amir,
that's where Alabama and Auburn wanted him.
Right. And then there's some misses where Nebraska wanted Marshall Faulk to play corner.
Whoops.
San Diego State said, come play running back. And he ran all the way to the Hall of Fame. So there's heck, we had a coach that wanted Jamal Lewis, to play linebacker, and he went on to Tennessee and ended up being number 5. So, it doesn't, I don't think there's any exact science, but I think the more football players you get is the best thing that you can do.
That's the key. It's not an exact science. There's no such thing as a sure thing.
No.
In recruiting. So what you're looking at now is a coaching staff that has its own method of evaluating players that we haven't seen at Nebraska before. Not saying Nebraska's never recruited for speed, which seems to be the number one trait of the staff, but the way they go about it, the way they use the track times, the way they judge athleticism is different than what we've seen before.
Right.
So the onus is on the coaching staff to prove that their method works.
Right.
It's understandable to have some reservations that I'm not sold on this. I'm not sure it'll work. You should.
Because it had nothing to work before.
But don't hold their methods against them until it doesn't work. And don't hold a star ranking against a player.
Right.
It's not about that for them. They're, like you said, putting in the work against the guys that they see on their high school schedule.
Right.
Maybe they can go to camps, maybe they can't. Maybe they choose to play a second sport instead of, go to camps, something like that. So don't hold star rankings against the players. Don't hold methods against a coach until you have a year or two of sample size at the college level.
Yeah, and then also don't think it's a guarantee that it's going to work. And the best thing that you can do as a coach, I think, is have, a plan and then be willing to adjust. Everybody's had to do it. Nick Saban's done it. Dabo Swinney's done it. Kirby Smart's done it. Coach Osborne did it. There's not a coach that's won and been successful that you haven't had to pivot or change or adjust. And so Coach Osborne always say the great ones adjust. So you got to adjust. Now we got some more text coming in. He's like, Austin answered. He's like, what do you think of Dylan Raiola recruiting Carter really hard? Well, I mean, I don't think peer recruiting is the best thing that you can do, and that's what there's nothing wrong with that. Georgia's on heavy on Carter, and Dylan. Why wouldn't Dylan? I mean, that's probably something that they encourage him to do, and that's why wouldn't you? It'd be no different if he committed to Nebraska. He would be doing the same thing. So peer recruiting is going to happen. I don't view it as like he's disrespecting Nebraska. Nebraska was right there with Georgia. Georgia won out, and he's trying to get the best players or guys that can be successful in his class together and put their best team foot forward. And that's what Nebraska players should do. And we've done it. It's some as well. But the best recruiting tool is how you play.
Straight up.
How you play and how you are as a teammate. And then the rest of it kind of handle itself. And so look, no, until there's, Tom Brady's and Joe Montana's and, Lawrence Taylor's getting recruited, you never know what, who's going to be good and who's going to be, not so good, and who can really handle the competition, because there's kids that come from, big states and, really good high school programs. But when they get up here and they have to compete, and it's constantly competing, because we talked about this a little bit with, some of the players with the Miami Heat, right? You can't get complacent, because say Austin, you're a coach, you recruit Jay Foreman, and I end up being a linebacker, and my redshirt freshman or sophomore year, I have a pretty good year. Well, I can't sit back and think I've arrived as our team is starting to progress, because the better that our team gets, then that gives you, Coach Austin, the ability to go recruit more guys that are ready-made to come play that could possibly push me for playing time or expect to play. So it's constantly pushing yourself, and you just never know who's willing to do that, because some guys, even if they come from big programs, once they make the college, they just think, all right, I made it, and that's just good enough. Or they come to college and feel like they're entitled to playing, and then it never works out. Those kids, it never works out. I should never say never, but there's a highly likelihood of it not being successful, or to the expectations of the coaches, the fans, or himself.
The kids that works out for are the ones that have a bigger margin for error,
right?
That are more athletically gifted, that understand the game maybe at a deeper level, and they're allowed to get away with it longer because of those other tools.
Right.
For the ones that have, ground to make up in some area, they can't be complacent. That's where I want to go with you here real quick. When you see, or when there's rumors of an athlete getting complacent, is that on the athlete having the wrong mindset? Is it on the coach for allowing that? Or is it on the coach for not, finding a way to tap into motivation for a player to push them to be better?
It's a little bit of both. I mean, some players don't respond well to being challenged and pushed. And so you have to find different ways to kind of get to what you are trying to do with said player. But I always feel like if you have success and you yearn for it, then you shouldn't think that you've arrived. Tom Brady never did, so why would you? LeBron James doesn't, Steph Curry, all of you, Joker doesn't. Doesn't matter what sport. But with success, you do get a little bit of complacency. It's how long you let that linger into your everyday life, and your everyday life as an athlete, which can kind of deter you from success. So, I think it's a little bit on both, but ultimately the teammates, if they're good teammates, will put you in check as well. And it's hard because, a lot of times at Nebraska, a lot of kids have been treated like kings and done, I guess, peasant work, peasant results. So that can kind of cloud somebody's judgment. You feel like you're an All-American, but you just okay. Because you're getting treated like an All-American, because you're the only one that has like a little bit of, walk and chew gum a little bit, like I like to say, versus having the reality of, okay, I've had a decent year. Okay, I need to do better. I can do better. Let's see what I can get better at and continue along the process.
That's where I think the standards of Nebraska fans have changed a little bit. Think about the teams you played on, the teams that came before you, even, a few right after you. All-Americans left and right, up and down. Dudes that pushed each other. That level of talent was there across the board. Haven't had that in a decade,
right?
Give or take. I mean,
nobody knows.
Trying to think. So
from a fan perspective, you don't know. Just imagine it. Just imagine. Okay, 8 years old is like kind of like where you first start getting into football. So for the last 10 years, this is what you've seen,
right?
So if you got somebody that's halfway decent, you're like, man, that dude's great. When actually, compared
to what
to
actual greatness is,
you average.
No.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, it is a little bit of the times that we're in, but then also I think it's also a little bit of the reality of college football, because in I'll give the coaches, their just due. You're kind of in some ways at the player's mercy, but I always think if you to the extent that you are is on you as an adult, because you can't just be okay with, hey, all right, you're a good player, and say you're a third team all Big Ten, and just letting them go. Well, who do you got behind him? Nobody. So you gotta make sure you try to re-recruit and keep your guys on on the roster, but you also don't want to go above and beyond what your foundation of coaching and all that, and your continuity and your lifeline of your, I guess, your position group or your football team is as well. So it's a tricky slope, but I think.
How did your coaches handle it? Coach Osborne, Coach Samuel, Coach D, Coach McBride.
It was first of all, if you start feeling yourself too much, you're always looking over either shoulder. And you're constantly every day. Practice was a competition. You're not only with the guys that you're competing against at your position, guys you're going against, but also within yourself. You didn't come. I never felt comfortable at practice. Never felt like I could take a practice off. Never, or just like, all right, I'm too good to get replaced, or I'm too good not to get all the reps that I, wanted. And I think that's a good, healthy fear, right? It wasn't make this play or else you're never going to play. It never was like that. But I think it's the good, healthy fear of if I don't keep working, if I don't keep challenging myself, if I don't keep playing for something bigger than me, then it might not work out.
You're going to get caught.
You're going to get caught. And the thing is, you're constantly running away from Michael Myers in the movies, and you're trying desperately not to get caught. All the while, you're trying to, turn around and try to, kill Freddy Krueger or whatever. So you're trying to. I mean, it's a good peer pressure that you like. I think I think some peer pressure or the pressure of college football comes from not being prepared, and then also not being totally invested in whatever sport you're in. I think the really good peer pressure comes from that every day that I step on the basketball or football field, that I'm going to be challenged. Now, you're not going to be able to meet that challenge every day. But I always say this, and I said it on my Inside the Huddle podcast, shameless plug, 7 a.m. on Sundays. We'll be sending out on, again, Sunday evenings and all throughout the week during the football season, is if you're doing things with the right intention or the right intent, you're going to be plenty successful. Coach Samuel used to always have this thing where your bad days need to be, I think he said like 85%. So 85. So when we grade the sheet, when you roll out of bed and you feel like crap, it's got to be 85%. That's championship football. Now, big games, he wanted that. I think he said 96%. And I think that's you're always striving for perfection. But also, I remember him telling us this in the one thing I always took with me throughout, my years playing. I always thought there's nothing like playing, or better yet, preparing for a big game. Nothing like it. And there's nothing like winning those. And you know what?
You played in plenty of them.
Yeah, that's a little tease. Next segment, I'm going to tell you why, how, and what it means once you accomplish that. In the second segment, Jay Foreman, Austin, Old School. We'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock, or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
General contractors, business owners, property owners. The success of your business requires doing business with the right people. And the right people, when it comes to drywall, acoustical ceilings, and specialty products, are at Premier Drywall. Kevin and his crew will give your project the response and attention it deserves.
You'll get all of the attention to detail and quality that you would expect from someone who's been in the business for 30 years. For your new builds, build-outs, or renovations, reach out to Kevin. Kevin at PremierDW.com. Premier Drywall in Lincoln.
Generation V.
Opening a new location at 27th and Superior.
Generation V.
Join us this Saturday during our grand opening sale. Everything is buy one, get one free. Mix and match between vape, Delta 8, and Kratom, or buy two of your favorites for the price of one. Buy one Elf Bar disposable, get one free. Buy premium THCA flower, get a free glass pipe. You decide what to BOGO this Saturday.
Generation V.
Don't miss the grand opening sale this Saturday at 27th and Superior in Lincoln. GenerationV.com. E-cigs contain nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great. We're
definitely coming back.
Sure.
Sauter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SauterHeyman.com.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer, spirits, and cigars at 5040 North 27th Street. From top shelf liquor to crowd favorite beer, Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 North 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 North 27th Street.
Are you working in or looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Looking for a financial partner that truly makes a difference? Modern Woodman is a member-owned fraternal financial services organization. We can help you plan for all stages of life, from protection to saving to retirement. We also offer member benefits, social activities, and volunteer opportunities to help your family and community.
I'm Sean Erickson, your Modern Woodman representative in Lincoln. Call me at 402-483-6515 to start the conversation.
Modern Woodman of America. Touching lives, securing futures.
Hey, it's Nicklin Hames from Nebraska Volleyball. I hate wasting time in practice, and I want to help you stop wasting your time when you're looking for an electrician. High Electric has been serving the area for over 30 years for both residential and commercial properties. They are experts in everything like remodeling, new additions, hot tub installation, and more. And they take jobs from Beatrice to Omaha and all towns, big or small, in between. Call them today at 402-466-6606 or learn more at high-electric.com.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill. Open for lunch and dinner at 10th and P or at 1501 Center Park Road.
Hey, CNC machinists, do you feel like you're in a dead-end job with your boss hovering over your shoulder? That's so annoying. Not at Garner Industries. We provide the opportunity and trust our CNC machinists to bring the talent. I'm Bob Williams, HR Director at Garner Industries, and we're looking for new team members in our CNC department. At Garner Industries, you'll work in a clean, climate-controlled, and safe environment with team members who want to see you succeed. You will also enjoy 4-day work weeks, great benefits, and a positive working culture. Interested? Apply on our career page at garnerindustries.com.
Too many people believe that chronic pain, allergies, or illness are permanent and something you're stuck with. Novotny Nutrition and Wellness has been proving that narrative wrong for 29 years and changing lives for the better in the process. Their team is trained in the newest, most advanced pain-relieving techniques and ways to deal with toxins, allergies, pollution, and emotion that make you ill. Call today for a free consultation at 531-254-5695 or go to novotnynutritionandwellness.com. Novotny Nutrition and Wellness, located at 7th and Superior.
Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are back. Old school. Austin J. Foreman, Austin, however you like to be introduced or like to hear it. Starter Heyman text line is blowing up. We appreciate that. Greg in Michigan. Can you say that, Austin?
Let's just say hard
acting coach is still working today's college football. Yes, they work very well. Kirby Smart, Nick Saban, in his own way, Dabo, pull the wool over your eyes, Sweeney, Jim Harbaugh. This is how you deliver it. I think people have a skewed view of what a hard acting coach is, right? They view a hard acting coach of like Woody Hayes and grabbing people by the face mask,
Drill sergeant,
drill
sorta,
sergeant,
yeah.
Bear Bryant, you don't get any water, you only can suck on ice cubes. You
Mhm.
hear all those stories, right? Or ones that are always constantly in your face, right? I think these kids, and this coming from coaching high school kids and being down in Nebraska, and also high school kids in youth sports and basketball and football, these kids actually yearn for more structure. I think for whatever reason, it just changed in like 10 years ago, where like you can't do that, and it's actually 100% wrong. And if you want to be successful, now as long as it's not personal, as it's coaching,
Mhm.
then of course some coaches go overboard, players go overboard, but I think that a lot of the coaches are successful that do that, right? Jim Harbaugh, they're holding you accountable. They're expecting and demanding your best, and there is no in between. There is no discrepancy on that, and they want you to be a good teammate and play for something bigger than you. And there's plethora of things that they want you to do. There's not a successful program that's not built on that. If you just say, hey, just kind of laissez-faire, you might be good for 1 year and get lucky, but you ain't going to be
Mhm.
sustainable.
I think what's hard and fast and non-negotiable are the standards, is that accountability. But if you listen to guys talk about their coaches, if you listen to how Kirby Smart's players talk about him, how Nick Saban's players talk about him, they're still personable. They're still down to earth enough, but their standards for them haven't changed. Discipline isn't personal.
Right.
Having a standard saying to someone that they can do better doesn't make you, rude.
Yeah.
I think that's what makes these guys so successful, is they blend a rigid standard that they're going to hold you to, unwavering in that, but they care enough about you to help you try and reach it.
Right. I want to get Jason Peter in here because obviously Charlie McBride was his coach.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie McBride was my defensive coordinator. I've been on the end of some conversations that have been one-sided, that have not been the best thing to be a part of. I didn't like it at the time. I dog cussed him underneath my breath, but he was 100% right, and it came from a true place of caring about me and in demanding better from me. But plus, also, he knew I could take it, or I guess, he could coach other players through me. To be honest with you, like, I love Charlie McBride. Okay. I love Coach Osborne. I love Tony Samuel. But when I played for them, I didn't want nothing to do with them. I didn't want them to be my friend. I mean, if we had to go over Coach Sam's, or a couple times we went to Coach Bowles' house or Coach McBride, I want to, if they, because you had to go over there as mandatory. You go over there and kind of, play along, but I want to get the heck up out of there because he's the coach. I'm the player.
Mm-hmm.
See, I think the problem is that those lines have been crossed because think about it. If we're buddy, how can I essentially demand something out of you where you think now we're on the same level?
Mm-hmm.
We're spending a lot of time together.
Mm-hmm.
So some of you pick on some of my weaknesses, some emotional weaknesses. You know how excuse me, maybe talk me down if I'm on a tangent, right? You can kind of just in one area out the other, you can fake like you're listening, but you're only hearing me, right? So that's how I was. That's how it was then. And that's when I talked to Jonathan Allen about Nick Saban. He's like, I love Nick Saban a lot more now. He's like, we have way more in-depth conversations now that I'm not his player versus not. And he's like, I was a captain and I grew up in a military household. So maybe he was more prepared for it. But that's the way it was. That's the way it is with all the coaches I had. The relationship's different. And that's the way it should be. You're the coach. I'm the player. I'm trusting you to get the best out of me, right?
So I'll give you my best.
And you're trusting. I'm trusting that you're going to give me the best and put me in the right situation to be successful, or show me how I can be successful. See, I think people viewed that type of coaching as hard coaching versus, kumbaya and everybody just kind of being there. We just hang out and let's just go out there and, play. And if it works out, great. And then we'll all be, get ice cream afterwards. And we just got obliterated. So I think that's where, people have a misconception of what hard coaching is.
Well, that's because I think what you're talking about, hard coaching, is just coaching.
Right.
And anything less than that is soft coaching.
Right. Yeah. And And there is in some players you need to kind of find a way to roundabout way get to where it's at. And there are some players you got to ride and continue to ride, and you can't give them any let up because ultimately that's the way it is. But was it Gino Armour? What's his last name?
Auriemma.
I be killing it. I love him, but I'm killing it. Auriemma had this quote, and he said they were talking about, I think, Stewart that was there.
Brianna Stewart.
Mm-hmm. Time she got there. Hardest worker, first in, last out, everything. Obviously, one of the best players in UConn history. I think he's talking about Deanna Taurasi as well. He said 99% of the other players, you have to push, you have to prod, you have to challenge them. That's the way it goes, and that's just coaching. You're 9 times out of 10, you're pushing them because see, here's what people don't understand about. And it doesn't matter, it's not what you view as a great. You can't say, okay, well, since Austin's All-American, you're a great player, right? A great player is what you expect of yourself. When we're talking about in this sense, like an average player just wants to be left alone. Show up, do my thing, and leave, right? A good player wants to be coached, right? Every day. A great player wants to be coached every day and pushed every day and challenged every day and is constantly coming back to you and challenging you as well because they're building a relationship with you because they're playing for something bigger than what the average person is talking to or thinking about. That's the distinct difference. And then when you're talking about, like I talked about or alluded to before we went into the break, about what it's like to prepare for a big game and why those things are so special, those are the unique qualities of when you have a hard-acting coach, X, Y, and Z, helps you do that because when you're preparing, and not only am I preparing that I'm putting everything into hopefully playing my best game. I have to play my best game for my linebacker group. In my case, defense in general, Coach McBride, and then Coach Osborne, and then them knuckleheads on offense as well. And then here comes the 90,000 fans. But there's nothing like preparing for it because you're preparing because when you step out on that field, that dude across you can kick your ass. That there's a possibility that it might happen. Okay, and it most likely it's gonna happen. So when you're looking across at Tennessee, when you're looking across at Colorado, Oklahoma, Miami, this going to be a dogfight.
Other guys on scholarship too,
but it's not a scholarship. They on high-end scholarship. You looking at the best of the best. There's nothing like preparing for that because it's like everything that you do is built up for that.
Was there any difference between preparing for Pacific versus Tennessee?
I mean, not the way we practice, but the magnitude of the game. I mean, look, man, Colorado, Oklahoma week is just different. I'll never forget me and Jason Peter went down to practice one time, and I think Nebraska was playing Miami. And we walked away. I said, man, we're going to get killed. And we looked at each other, and I was like, we knew we didn't hear enough pads cracking on a day that is supposed to be a heavy work day. Oklahoma, Colorado week, when I was playing, the coaches just had to sit back and just give us the game. We're going at it. Scout team, don't think you having any day. It's Savage week. So of course, I mean, yeah, we got after it, Pacific week. But the thing about when you're playing against a team like Pacific, you're going to go through a regular week of practice and you're only going to play 12 plays. I hated those games. I did because I liked once you get a taste of preparing, the bus ride. And everything that you put into the playing that one game, and it's worth it, everything because when I talked to my dad about being a competitor and my mom as well, my mom's very competitive. She's where I got my cutthroat. I mean, she's like, I want to poke your eye. I mean, she like, that's where I got that from, kick you down. And she's like, when you got to go to extra level, she called it cranking it up to the 15 power. That's like everything else is just kill them all and leave them there. Right. We always talked about, especially with my dad, he's like, I always felt like I want to beat you at your best. So you can't never think that you can beat me. You know what I'm saying? I don't want the excuses of if we're playing something and, you got a, high ankle sprain or something like that, or like 10 people get hurt and then we run over you. No, I want your best, because once I beat you, then I know the next time I beat you, I'm gonna destroy you. And that's the mentality we had. Now, I will tell you this for you fans out there, I didn't have that mentality in '95. All right. Also, my job was to go out there, make plays, and get the heck out the way. I did not want to be the guy that they were talking about that messed up, right? Because everybody, I was the outcast. I was the new guy. A lot of everybody that been on that defense have been playing or starting or whatever, and I was just kind of, I forced my way in there. But as I got older and I started to, wanting to be challenged, seeing how other guys work, seeing the leadership and stuff like that, then you start to really, change your mentality. And so when you get and that's what I really would like for these, this coaching staff and the coaching staff, because they're a young coaching staff, and then, they've had success other places, but preparing for a game, at Nebraska, a big magnitude game, the players as well, and whatever they have as far as their preparation, they do that above and beyond. Everybody's pushing the same way, and then looking across a team that either you're supposed to, there's going to be a game that's supposed to be even Steven, or a team that you might not particularly supposed to win against, and you win. See, that's like, it's like 5 victories, because once you get, it's like the best drug out there, because winning here is different. You still think about it. I drew, like when I was in the, Houston, I was drawing back on some of the things at Nebraska. You know what I'm saying? What I learned as far as like being motivated to, do the things, above and beyond. Coach Osborne told this story about, leadership is, it's like winning, when you're winning by, 14 points, it's easy to coach, right? And easy to be a leader. But are you a leader when you're facing the storm and there's no way out? Do you try to go around it, or do you, crank down that, put the pedal to the metal and drive everybody right through it until you get through it? And that's, some of the things I learned here at Nebraska. So, I can tell you this though, AA Ron. I like that name. Every time I hear it, I have a friend named Aaron Bell. So I call him AA Ron. I don't know if he likes it or not, but I love calling him that. He says, "Do you feel the days are gone where you have to hold the players back before they destroy each other in practice? Has the players' mindset changed?" I don't know. I mean,
They're hitting less.
Yeah, they're hitting less. I think if you can be more strategic and crank it up when you need to, I think you can get more. I think a big thing is learning how to practice even when you don't have pads on, or when you're in half pads, thudding up. Football is a collision sport. You can't be physical, just turn it on Saturdays. Everything you got to do. I don't think we tried to destroy each other in practice, but we just got after each other. But it was, we didn't try to hurt each other. We never, I would never take a shot at Amon.
Like he did to you in the pros.
He did. Well, I'll say this. He didn't cheap shot me. He just, I thought we had a understand. Now, I will say this. I've been going against Amon, I don't know how many times in pass protection. I know for a fact if he wasn't hurt, he wouldn't have cut me. Now, I respect afterwards, but I wasn't mad that he cut me. I was more mad that I slid on my face mask and had all this grass and mud and stuff in my face. So I was more embarrassed, right? And I went flying, and so that was it. But I would never take a cheap shot at a teammate. We just got after each other. Mon come through there, I'm thudding him up, running the feet. You can't get caught slipping, right?
Bunch of alphas with something to prove,
right? And we're getting the best out of each other because the harder I go against Amon, makes him better for Saturdays and vice versa. So I think you can still do that. Actually, I think I'm gonna tell you this, that I played when I was in Buffalo, Wade Phillips did a really good job of keeping us fresh. And what we do is Mondays are half a day, watch film and all that. Tuesday is a mandatory day off. Wednesday, if we wore pads, we only wore them for half the practice and, thud contact. Thursday would be Wednesday, whatever our big work day was, especially late in the season. 9-on-7, blitz drill, and maybe 1-on-1s, we wore pads and we got after it. And even if we cut down the reps, but we got after it. Took the pads off. He wants speed. He had it very detailed. Not once did we feel like we weren't physical, and I felt like we, when we were in those playoffs runs and really good when Wade was there. I felt like that really helped us, push that last towards the end of the season. And so I think if you do that with this new age of, practice, you can get a lot out of it. So a lot to digest there. We'll get to a couple more texts here at the bottom of the hour, but this is Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, Old School. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill. Open for lunch and dinner at 10th and P or at 1501 Center Park Road.
Hey, CNC machinists, do you feel like you're in a dead-end job with your boss hovering over your shoulder? That's so annoying. Not at Garner Industries. We provide the opportunity and trust our CNC machinists to bring the talent. I'm Bob Williams, HR Director at Garner Industries, and we're looking for new team members in our CNC department. At Garner Industries, you'll work in a clean, climate-controlled, and safe environment with team members who want to see you succeed. You will also enjoy 4-day work weeks, great benefits, and a positive working culture. Interested? Apply on our career page at garnerindustries.com.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now they've raised wages again and they're hiring for production operators at $24.11 per hour, which grows to $28.27 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $32.76 per hour with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or to apply, go to continental-jobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
General contractors, business owners, property owners. The success of your business requires doing business with the right people. And the right people, when it comes to drywall, acoustical ceilings, and specialty products, are at Premier Drywall. Kevin and his crew will give your project the response and attention it deserves.
You'll get all of the attention to detail and quality that you would expect from someone who's been in the business for 30 years. For your new builds, build-outs, or renovations, reach out to Kevin. Kevin at premierdw.com. Premier Drywall in Lincoln.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer, spirits, and cigars at 5040 North 27th Street. From top shelf liquor to crowd favorite beer, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 North 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 North 27th Street.
The best way to learn about Southeast Community College is to visit. And you can check out our spaces before you visit in person with a virtual campus tour. An opportunity to see our campuses in Beatrice, Lincoln, and Milford as you learn about our programs and areas of study. There are virtual tours of our learning centers too. We can even take you on a personalized virtual tour. Learn more on our website, southeast.edu/visit SCC. SCC, your path to possible.
Are you working in or looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The electrical workers of local union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Smoked meats, amazing sides. The only problem when they fix you a plate is that at some point, that plate will be empty. But hear me out. What if that plate was never empty? That dream can be your reality with the Mary Ellen's Express Lunch Buffet. From 11 to 2 every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and even Saturday. One price, all you can eat, and it even comes with a drink. Tell your boss you're taking a long lunch and get down there. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul at 29th and Pine Lake. Let them fix you a plate.
Spring is here, and it's time to wake up Judson. Judson Irrigation is eager and ready to get your sprinkler system up and running for the season. Judson's technicians will check for winter damage, adjust your sprinkler heads, and show you how to set your controller for effective sprinkling coverage. The Judson Irrigation team is here for you. Stay safe.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Need service on your home air conditioner? Call the company Lincoln has counted on since 1952, Bryant Air Conditioning and Heating. No matter what brand you have, when you need service, you want Bryant's experienced pros working for you. friendly Nate certified technicians with the tools, training, and technology to restore your comfort quickly. No matter what brand, when you need service, just call Bryant. 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Mostly sunny skies and slightly warmer here for our Tuesday. We'll see a high of 84, light west-southwest winds at around 10. Mainly clear tonight, a low dropping down to 57. The heat builds in a bit further as we head into our Wednesday. We'll be mainly sunny with an afternoon high approaching 91. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are back. Short segment, couple of minutes here, couple texts. We'll read them off here. Greg in Michigan, thanks for the answer. Hip, hip, hooray. Yeah, that Mike Riley boy. That's funny, man. Greg, man, I appreciate the love, man. Right back to you, man. So it's all good. But hey, look, a good segment. You know, we have a little bit of not Dalvin Cook news, but a little bit. We didn't get into the golf thing, but I will say this. John Rahm says the players feel betrayal from management. Management said, don't blame me, blame Congress. I'm telling you, the Netflix of they do the Inside the PGA Tour, you know, like kind of, you know, show, and they got live footage of when players heard that. That's going to be awesome. But if they ever do a 30 for 30, 60-minute, whatever it needs to be on how this all came about, say 20 years from now, the state of golf, I think, is going to be a lot different. And it could be really good or it could be really bad. And if it turns out the bad way, are those players' legacies really turned upside down? Because, you know, this is what I'll say this, and I texted Johnson Wagner about these. My former neighbor, he's on PGA Tour. I said, listen, he'd always talk about NFL players. You guys, you guys. Well, he thought we had guaranteed contract, but we talked about other sports. He's like, well, you know, golf, you got to go earn it. Well, what I tried to tell him, once you do that, the purity of what your sport is, and that's what golf was always about. You get it out of the dirt and all the different things will be gone. All these guys that wanted to be paid to show up versus earning it, I guess, the old school way. Now I do think that some of the big name players probably needed some sort of, I don't know, some sort of, you know, I mean, like Tiger Woods, like a lot of these guys that have got all those hundreds of millions and $500 million wasn't because how good they're, it was because of Tiger Woods.
Oh yeah.
So they need to be giving him some of that money because they have forgot who they are, right, and who they were, you know, and where golf was prior. And so it's going to be interesting to see how this all shakes out, because Jay Monahan went from, I guarantee you, he did not sleep for a week.
Nope.
Right. And then I guess he must have got together and said, look, the easiest people to blame is the government. And they're looking into the partnership. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. We didn't get to cover it today. We'll probably get after it some tomorrow. And who knows what's going to come out of Buffalo. And, you know, now you got Josh Allen taking some of the blame for Diggs drama. I mean, hey, look, man.
Good quarterback move, but.
It is, but at the end of the day, I'm out here throwing the dudes that I need to throw to my boy. And what possibly we're in June. Like, we got training camp in a month. Like, isn't this stuff we should have been hashing out in January, February, March? At least April? Okay, I'll give you May. We getting our last tune up before we about to go grind, and you over here, you know, lollygagging. Your agent says, or the team says you ain't there. I know I ain't seen you, right? And I'm the quarterback, so I ain't throw to you. Your agent say you there. Nobody knows where the hell you at, and now you're up here trying to get you to come to campus, and I'm taking all the blame, man. That's and give it up to Josh Allen, because most quarterbacks don't take a lot of blame, especially in this situation. But that's why he's one of the best. Jay Foreman, Austin, we are out.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
Hey, CNC machinists, do you feel like you're in a dead-end job with your boss hovering over your shoulder? That's so annoying. Not at Garner Industries. We provide the opportunity and trust our CNC machinists to bring the talent. I'm Bob Williams, HR Director at Garner Industries, and we're looking for new team members in our CNC department. At Garner Industries, you'll work in a clean, climate-controlled, and safe environment with team members who want to see you succeed. You will also enjoy 4-day work weeks, great benefits, and a positive working culture. Interested? Apply on our career page at garnerindustries.com.
Hey, it's Nicklin Hames from Nebraska Volleyball. I hate wasting time in practice, and I want to help you stop wasting your time when you're looking for an electrician. High Electric has been serving the area for over 30 years for both residential and commercial properties. They are experts in everything like remodeling, new additions, hot tub installation, and more. And they take jobs from Beatrice to Omaha and all towns, big or small, in between. Call them today at 402-466-6